Oh, my goodness. Want to welcome into the studio Jessica Weingard, candidate for state senate. Good morning.
Good morning.
Gosh, here you are again. I'm going to see you tonight in Watonga. I got suckered into moderating political forum. No, it's so funny. I tell everybody I am the anti-Jeff Barong. I refuse to wear a suit and tie. I'm just going to wear a polo shirt. I'm going to get up there and just ask questions from the audience. And it ought to be interesting. And by the way, anybody is welcome to attend Watonga City Hall tonight. And as you go in, come in a little earlier. If you have a question you want to ask Jessica or Rick, all questions go to both of them, by the way. You just write it on a 3x5 card, drop it in, and they'll hand it to me. And please print so I can read your handwriting, and I will ask the questions. No agenda tonight. It's just both candidates getting to ask questions from the audience. And I assume, Jessica, that's what you've been doing, going door to door over these last several weeks, right?
Not only do I get asked questions door to door, but a ton of people reach out via social media and messenger and ask questions that way. So that's been good. And this is everyone's last opportunity before Election Day to see us both answer questions. Our last forum.
So you were here just about a month ago, besides a couple of forums and stuff like that. How's it been going? What are some of the things that you've been doing?
Oh, it's really been going good. Just the same things, knocking doors and taking sign maintenance and going to forums and just all the fun stuff.
And in the meantime, your daughter had an injury, I think I saw on social media. She's okay, though?
She did, yeah. We absolutely thought her wrist was broken. So she's a catcher, and she was live catching in the cages and put her glove out to stick a pitch and caught the bat to her wrist. And it looked terrible. And so she FaceTimes me. I see it, and I was like, oh, be ready. I'm on my way. We're going to go to urgent care for that one. And so we did. They x-rayed and it looked like it was fractured. And so we set out for a little bit, but we got into the ortho pretty quickly. And they said, no, I think that's just her growth plate and it's not broken. It's probably just a bone bruised really badly. And so she's back to catching. And this is her senior year. And so we were so bummed. And now we're so grateful. When we went into ortho appointment, I said, best case scenario, it's not broken, right?
Yeah.
And then that's what we got. So we got a big blessing.
Well, that's great. And already back to playing then.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
She caught on Tuesday night's game. Yep.
Yeah. Well, this has got to be such a busy time for you. I mean, because you've got your mom duties, your wife duties, and you're out campaigning too. I bet your family, you've just got to thank them profusely for everything that they're sacrificing right now, right?
I think it's more of a lesson in time management for me. I mean, I still have to wash out those softball pants and, make sure that you get everything done. You just do it. So as a mom, as a wife, and as a candidate, you just get it all done. So you just find the time. So they are helping when they can, I guess, but they're busy too.
Yeah, well, it seems like we all just have busy lives now. And once again, a credit to you and Rick, both being willing to serve, because I tell people all the time, people say, Todd, you're so political. Why don't you run for? I would never do it in a million years. And it's not because I'm worried about some skeleton in my closet. It's just like it takes a huge sacrifice to do that. And there's a lot of great things, because being a public servant is very honorable, but there's also a bunch of just BS that you have to deal with too.
I first want to say that I want to go back to that last comment and say my husband has definitely done more. He's been more supportive. And it takes that. It takes somebody who's going to back you up and have your back all the way, because it's hard what you're getting at. It's really hard. And sometimes I think you have to be half crazy to get into something like this, because no one ever gives you the atta girls. You only really get the bad stuff. I'm being a public servant. That's what happens. Being a school board member, people don't reach out to you when something good happens. They reach out when they're unhappy. And that's going to be the same situation. So you're literally signing up for people to call you when they're unhappy. But it's so rewarding, because if you can help them in that, there's nothing better than being able to help somebody with a problem or see positive change in your community. So I'm super excited about it. But at the same time, it's a lot.
And you brought up the school board experience, and you mentioned this a little bit in the other forum, because I didn't really know the story. I guess you and I hadn't talked about it, but you were on the school board. You were even the president of the school board, and then there was an election where it was mainly the big issue was about turf.
Okay,
on
so
the
yeah,
fields,
we ran a bond to move our ball fields on the other side of the road, which is property that the school owns. Where they're at now, the town owns them, and so it was all about where do you want to invest. And so we were going to build new ball fields on the other side of the road, over by our ag barn, and they were going to be super nice, and they were going to have turf.
Yeah,
That's very expensive. Turf is expensive, and it's also very controversial, evidently. And so we ran that bond, and it was polarizing for our town. I mean, we had literal campaign signs out against it, and just social media was crazy. It was crazy, and we lost the bond by 4 votes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and then the next election, they're like, man, we're going to get rid of all these people that voted for the bond.
I was the one up after that, and that certainly did not help me. No.
Yeah. Wow. But that's how, elections can turn, especially school boards, city council, things like that. It's like, my son should be the starting quarterback.
Yes.
And I'm going to vote out the superintendent or the school board members if he's not the starting quarterback.
That has nothing to do with it.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
So.
small towns especially, just everyone knows you. And that's why I would say that loss is so hard, because it's so personal. These are people people you've grown up with. And so it was really a tough deal to lose that election. But I know the guy who ran, and he came to me and said, hey, I'm not running against you. I just want to run. Only one person comes up a year. And so that's how it went.
So tell the story for people that may not have heard you on here last time. What made you throw your hat in the ring for state senate? Because that's a big change from school board, right? Yeah.
It is. Well, I've always been interested in politics. In fact, my mom was looking for some pictures for me and found my binder from high school from government and all the things I had written and all. I've always been very interested in politics, but I don't know that now would have been like the time I would have ventured out. But I was actually approached by a former Speaker of the House who was now a campaign consultant, and I guess my name was on a list somewhere as running as a Republican in my district. And he said, I think you'd make a good fit for this. Have you ever considered it? And so at that point I kind of did. And I thought, yeah, this is actually a pretty good time. My kids are older, and it looks like it would be a good time in my life to jump into this, which is something I've always wanted to do and wanted to pursue. So that's how I got here, I guess.
Well, let's talk a little bit about some of the things that are so important to you. Coming from an ag background, obviously, I know you've got some endorsements from some folks in the ag industry. I guess that would be one of your number one issues, right?
Agriculture is definitely one of my number one issues. Yeah, and I do have the endorsements of American Farmers and Ranchers, Oklahoma Farm Bureau, and Hands Off My Land. So yeah, I'm really proud of those. And agriculture is one of the things that I will defend with everything I am.
And it's hard right now for farmers out there. Of course, we're going through a drought right now. Yeah, it's horrible. We were just talking about the crop progress report with Ron Hayes a couple of minutes ago, and everything is down. Cotton, corn, obviously wheat, but grain, sorghum, all of that. And we're so reliant on the weather here in western Oklahoma. What are some things that maybe the state could do, though, to help out with that? Because, I mean, obviously the state just can't give out millions of dollars necessarily. No. But are there some policies that maybe could be changed?
Well, I think one of the things that they could look at is the way that they tax farms and just the freeze that they're looking at doing there. That would probably really help. We don't want to be making it harder. We also just need to make sure we're not regulating or over-regulating our farms, making sure that we're maintaining private property rights and not imposing undue regulations on our farmers.
All right. Talking with Jessica Weingart. She is a candidate for State Senate District 26. And as we mentioned, no Democrat candidate, no independent candidate. So the primary coming up in less than 2 weeks is going to be the deciding vote. Of course, only Republicans can vote in this primary, and tend to be primary elections anyway. Maybe 25% of eligible voters vote. Sometimes in these runoffs a little less. I would expect the numbers to be a little higher because we have a pretty hotly contested gubernatorial primary runoff as well, right?
Yes, I think that'll help. I also think state superintendent's going to help.
Yeah.
I think Ryan Walters really brought a whole lot of attention to that position, and it's very what would you say, a hot button issue as well. And
Yeah.
the candidates couldn't be more different. And so I think that's going to be a driver as well.
Are people asking you when I bet they are they asking you like, who do you support for superintendent? Who do you support for governor? Do you get into that with people or?
I don't too much. No, people don't really ask me that all that much. Well, I get message from people I know about it,
Yeah.
but not random people. No, people don't really ask me that much.
Have you made up your mind yet? I'm just curious.
Yes.
You have.
I
Do you
have.
want? Do you want to share? Or do you? I mean, and no pressure because I literally haven't yet. I'm really struggling with both of these races.
I definitely have for state superintendent. Well, I have for both.
Yeah.
I'm an education person, right?
Yeah.
So that's as a former board member. So Drummond would be my choice because of Maisie's comments towards education, among other things. I also don't believe that you can eliminate property taxes on a path to no income taxes and that that's a viable thing. I feel like that's more something you say to get elected, which in my opinion then is a lie, and I don't love that.
Yeah.
But James Taylor, I watched. Well, I didn't just watch it. I was the timekeeper at the forum in Kingfisher for state superintendent. And so I got a front row seat to that forum. And I thought James Taylor was extremely underqualified for the forum. And so I'm very surprised he made it through. And I just don't know how somebody who can't even be a principal at a school can be a state superintendent. But that's where we're at. So
He's got a little Ryan Walters in him, I think. But
yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. He just every question that he answered was from a classroom teacher, which that's a good perspective to have.
Yeah.
But you need to have some other higher level perspectives as well if you're going to be in charge of all the schools in Oklahoma.
But I will say one of the things that scares people about Robert Franklin, because it happens so much, a lifelong Democrat decides he has no chance as a Democrat, registers as a Republican. But then he mentioned, a couple of books that people should read, Separation of Church and Hate, written by John Fugelsang, who is a liberal nut job. And, so it gets scary when people get dragged into that. But everybody's going to say something or believe something that maybe you don't. It's almost like the lesser of two evils sometimes.
That's how I feel. It absolutely is in this. And I don't know how we ended up here with these are the choices. I felt like those two, neither one of them were my picks the night of the forum. They weren't the people that I thought would make it or the people that I would have chosen.
Yeah.
But here we are. And so looking at the options, I would just have to go with somebody who at least has superintendent experience.
Yeah.
But I don't love, it's not my favorite.
Well, thanks. I was just
problem.
curious about that. Way I don't have to ask that at the forum tonight.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, and that's really why. It's just a matter of who I think is more qualified, just because on a personal level, I saw them both personally, and I really just didn't think his answers weren't qualified to me.
Yeah.
And so I was shocked that he actually even made it through the primary.
Well, and once again, with your school board experience, I think you have a pretty good perspective on that. So appreciate you sharing that.
No problem.
Jessica Weingart is our guest on the Wake Up Show. Big forum tonight in Watauga with her opponent, Rick Cook. Back with more right after this.
Cummins Auto Group of Weatherford has your next vehicle. Check out all the latest models of Chevrolet, Cadillac, and GMC on the north side of Airport Road. Or cross over to Carriage Way to see all the new Ford and Lincoln vehicles. And right next door is Cummins Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Nobody beats the deals at Cummins. Stop by and take a test drive or visit CumminsAutoGroup.com. That's Cummins Auto Group of Weatherford.
The state Senate runoff election is coming up on August 25th, and this Thursday night you have one more chance to hear from candidates Rick Cook and Jessica Weingart. The State Senate Forum in Watauga will be streamed live on WBS TV at Right.Media. It starts at 6:30, and it's made possible by Wheeler Brothers, Mercy Hospital, Bank 7, and Stewart Real Estate. Join us for the State Senate District 26 Forum live in Watauga this Thursday, August 13th on Right.Media.
Over 20,000 square feet of furniture and appliances at Tot Fest. David.
Harold, we are the one-stop shop. Literally, we have mattresses, furniture, and appliances. We've been here 80 years, and the reason we're here is because we service people after the sale.
A big tradition going on at Tot Fest for 80 years, folks. Shop at Tot Fest for all your furniture and appliances. Todd Fest, the best in quality, service, and price. Main corner, downtown Weatherford.
Has your business hit a bump in the road? Hello, this is Teresa Kilhofer with Wright Broadcasting. Let me help you get your business back on the road and headed in the right direction. Together, we'll develop a plan to help you stand out from your competitors. Advertising isn't rocket science. It's actually pretty easy. The key is to be consistent. All we have to do is tell people who you are, what you do, and where to find you. And just keep telling them until one day they automatically think of you first. Like when you're buying toilet paper, do you have a certain kind that you love? Or when you're needing new shoes, do you have a favorite brand? I want to do that for you. I want people to automatically think of you first. There are many strategies we can do to help increase your visibility and attract new customers. But don't make it harder than it has to be. Call Wright Broadcasting. Ask for Teresa. Together, we'll make it easy.
Hi, I'm Jessica Weingart, and I'm running for state senate. I'm a small business owner, a mom, a wife, and a proud product of rural schools. I've served on our local school board, worked in agriculture for years, and oil and gas has provided for my family. I'm not a career politician. I'm someone who has spent my life solving problems and working hard. I'll fight for agriculture, education, affordable energy, and the values that make rural Oklahoma strong. On August 25th, I'd be honored to earn your vote. Paid for by Jessica Weingart for State Senate 2026.
Escaping that summer heat can seem impossible. Is your unit working overtime to keep your home cool? Call Southwest Air and Heat, your local Lennox dealer in Weatherford. Southwest Air and Heat and Lennox are the trusted and experienced names for air conditioning in western Oklahoma. No matter the make or model, Southwest Air and Heat can service it. Call 772-8000. That's 772-8000. Perfect air, unmatched care. That's Southwest Air and Heat, your local Lennox dealer in Weatherford.
The age-old question, what's for dinner? Beef tacos, meatloaf, hamburgers, beef stroganoff, Mongolian beef, chili, beef stew, beef brisket, roast beef, sloppy joes, filet mignon, Philly cheesesteaks. See where I'm going with this? Beef! It's what's for dinner! And lunch, and even breakfast. From pasture to plate, Market 54 on Highway 54 has all the best cuts of meat to feed those hungry mouths. Sam Elliott, eat your heart out.
Market 54 on Highway 54 is your one-stop meat shop north of Weatherford.
Welcome back to the Western Oklahoma Wake Up Show, 725. With us in studio is Jessica Weingart, candidate for Senate District 26. The election coming up in just about 2 weeks, August 25th, and one more opportunity to hear from yourself and your opponent, Rick Cook, tonight in Watonga at the City Hall, 6:30. We're also going to stream it on Wright.media. And Jessica, I told you I'm a little nervous, about this is going to be the first time. I've hosted about everything. I'm more comfortable in the studio, just talking one-on-one. Getting up in front of people is not my favorite thing in the world, but bear with me tonight. It'll be fun. And but the one thing that I want you and Rick to promise me, okay? I want a few more fireworks. I watched the one that you guys did in Weatherford. You guys were all way too nice to each other. I want it to be more like the last gubernatorial primary where Mazie and Drummond were interrupting each other. Yeah. Can I get you and Rick to agree to fight it out tonight? Come on. It's good for ratings.
You cannot. I'm definitely do not think that we should stoop to those extremes, but I think you're going to do a great job. But I understand the nerves. Forums for me are so nerve-wracking. The very first one, I literally thought I might go into cardiac arrest. It was terrifying, and they've gotten a little bit better ever since. But I am not upset that this is the last one, because there's something that you are very nerve-wracking for sure. It's just a lot to put yourself out there like that.
Well, and also knowing, and here's what's funny, because people think that every candidate should have an answer for everything. And I try to put myself in your shoes. There's no way one person can know about every single topic that might come up in legislation in the state, right? And so sometimes you just have to say, I'm going to have to wait until I get all the facts, right? I mean,
yeah. For sure. And I've had to do that a couple times, which isn't my favorite thing to do.
Sure.
I always try to prepare and try to have kind of an idea of what I think might come up and, study those things and just try to be as informed as I can be when I step into the room. But I think every time there's been something I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to go back home and research that now. But I think that's just the nature of the beast, and it's going to always be that way. You're never going to have all the answers. And I don't think you're supposed to.
Right.
I think the number one thing that's super important for somebody in like a senator's position is to be able to find the experts and to be able to reach out to people who are the boots on the ground, the people who do the thing, and ask them the questions, because that's how you're going to get the best information.
Yeah, one of the things that I'm always concerned about is the role of lobbyists. But when you hear lobbyists, sometimes people think that's a dirty word, but it's really not. It's people that are representing interests, and the people that hire them are voters too, and they're taxpayers in the state, but they have certain things that are important to them. But have people talked about, if you're elected, the role of lobbyists and things you have to be wary of?
Yes, I've definitely had that come up a few times. And when I first started this, I had that opinion of lobbyists, like you see it in movies or whatever, and they're made out to be such a negative thing. And I'm sure there's that side to it in some aspect. But for the lobbyists that I've met, they have just been advocates for whatever it is that they're, representing. And they're sharing information. And I think like with every other thing that you take in, so different forms of news, you have to listen, and then you need to also use your own brain. Yeah. Maybe seek a different opinion. And so you could use them for one of those expert opinions and then look elsewhere and make sure that you're using your own opinions before making decisions.
Yeah, you really do have to listen to everybody's side. And, of course, you're going to have colleagues in the Senate to rely on if you're elected as well. I know earlier in this campaign when it was a 3-person race, one of the candidates had a real problem with Senate leadership. And, there's like the Freedom Caucus, which it looks like there's going to be fewer members out there. Nobody in one party can agree on everything, but it seemed like there was a lot of stuff that didn't happen in the Senate this year because there was so much infighting.
Yeah, I think we're doing that across the board in government in the U.S. right now, not just in the state of Oklahoma, not at our capital, but at the nation's capital. I think that less things happen because we've decided to fight with each other more than do the work of the people. That's something I want to stop. Obviously, I can't stop it individually, but that's something I will not partake in. I think that the job is to go there and make relationships well enough that you can work with everyone and get the job done for the people that sent you there, not to fight and bicker and make the news.
I know that some people running for office already have like hot button issues that they want to attack from day one, maybe even have some legislation prepared. Is there anything that you would like to do first thing if you're elected, or just kind of a wait and see?
No, there isn't. And I don't think that people who seek office should already have an agenda. I think it's important that you go and listen to your constituents and you do the work that they're asking you to do. Maybe that's what somebody's doing now, but I think you just have to wait, get there, see what's being proposed, what works for your district, and just how you can serve your people the best and not come into it with any of your own ideas, because I think having your own ideas may be a little self-serving.
Yeah, I gotcha. Well, I appreciate you coming in again tonight, and once again looking forward to the forum tonight, which we will be live streaming on Right.media. That's our streaming platform, just for people that don't know, where we have Clinton Red Tornado TV, Weatherford Eagles, Thomas Terriers, all the other teams, Watonga included. But we also have a channel called WBS TV, and everybody asks, what the heck is WBS? Right Broadcasting Systems is our corporate name. We only use it for like legal documents and stuff, but we just needed a channel where we could put different stuff up. So you go to WBS TV on Right.media, and you can watch the forum from Watonga live tonight at 6:30, or you can even watch it on demand later. So you can even, check yourself afterwards and see,
I do.
Was your hair in place and all that stuff. That's
the first thing I do after a forum is re-listen to the forum, because you leave there going, oh my gosh, why did I say that? Or how did I do this? Or so I just have to listen to it back. And I always feel like I do better after I listen to it back than I do right afterwards. You always feel like, oh, I don't know how that went. And then after you listen to it back, you're like, it wasn't terrible. So are you really excited about it, though? Because I think that you may be excited to get it over with, but maybe not so excited to actually be there.
Yeah, I'm actually excited to get it over. Well, it's just, I love politics, but as I tell people, my favorite thing is not getting up in front of people. And people think that's so weird, but I'm in radio, but I'm also an extreme introvert. Now, I can put on this fake, not fake, but I can just
professional
put on this extroverted side for short periods of time. Because we're out doing remotes and stuff like that. But my favorite place to be is in the studio behind a mic, one-on-one, no camera on, even though video is a big part of our business, but I'm usually on the other side of the camera. But it'll be interesting tonight.
Be a good experience.
And as I tell people, and no offense, Jeff, but I'm the anti-Jeff Barong, so I will not look dapper up there. I will just be, and once again, all I'm doing is I am just being given the questions from the audience, and I will give them to you. You both get a chance to respond. You'll have opening and closing statements, and so it should be old hat for you guys by now.
Yeah, I mean, what is this, the fifth or sixth one? So it's been a few. So, I mean, I feel, I guess, pretty prepared. But at the end of the day, it's always, like I said, always nerve-wracking, and then there's always something new that comes up. So
for sure, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the public comes up with.
It really
over
will.
in Watonga tonight. So, well, thanks again for coming in. Once again, if people want to get more information about your campaign.
The best way is through Facebook, because I reach out daily via Facebook about the campaign, about issues. So just look me up on Facebook at Jessica Weingart, State Senate 2026. You can go to my website. It doesn't have nearly as much information as my Facebook page does, though. And you can always reach out. My phone number is on the website, and so if you have questions or whatever, you can reach out that way as well. But Messenger through Facebook is also a really good way if you have questions or concerns.
Great. Jessica Weingart, thanks so much for coming in and being a part of the show.
For sure.
We'll see you out there tonight. All right,
yes,
stick around. We've got news next.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
All right, welcome back to the Western Oklahoma Wake Up Show. I think we got John Matthews back in his place now, back in the newsroom.
Back where we belong.
Hey, dude, thanks so much, seriously, for filling in the last few days.
Anytime. No, I thought I did okay until Crystal Blackwell always knows to say the right things, just smack you down and make you feel good.
Yeah.
She's like, John, you're just too happy for talk radio. Just too happy. What do you mean you're too happy? You can be happy
positive.
On that station. Yeah. And I thought I did when I interviewed the candidates for city commissioner.
I got to hear them. You did a great job.
No, they were good. They both did. They had fun. And then now I want to go to Red Rock Canyon. I'm very bad about in the moment. So I just, whoever we're interviewing, I want to do that.
Yeah.
It was fun. Thank you for letting me fill in. Was Daddy Daycare good? Did you do anything fun?
Yeah, we did. We went up to Andretti Racing on Monday. We spent all day there. So we raced several times. We did laser tag. We played 8 million games. They have all these. I'm so old, I don't know much about games. They have all these VR games, which are incredible now. You put on these goggles and it transports you, and the chairs you're in move and rotate. It's pretty wild.
No, that's
yeah.
Does it hurt your eyes at all anymore?
No, not at all. Not at all. No. But I was a little nervous where a couple of them said, "Don't ride this if you have heart issues or anything." I'm like, "Do I have heart issues?
I don't. My chest hurts
no,
sometimes.
I'm fat.
Acid reflux. Does that count as a heart issue? That's an age thing. Don't worry about it. Come on.